Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and we have so much today. The show is stacked. But before we move forward, we do have to pour one out. This man had a long life, a glorious long life, so we can't be too sad. But it's still sad when they go. Bob Uecker passed away at the age of 90 yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, now Bob Uecker, former Major League Baseball player, who really got famous for not playing baseball, but entertainment and also announcing baseball. So for the Brewers fans out there, he did that for 50 years. 50 years doing Brewers games as the announcer. But you also might remember him from movies like Major League, a classic in the Miller Lite commercials. We'll play a little bit of all of that in a second. But he was a super huge, funny icon, kind of a Rodney Dangerfield type that could make fun of himself. And that's what he did in the movie and the Miller Lite commercials of the 90s and 80s that were so hilarious. You might remember being, on the couch there with your dad and your dad's chuckling at it when those Miller Lite commercials were just epic. Here's a little bit of Major League when he was the announcer there. Of course, the team's doing terrible.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed. Ball 4. Ball 8. Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches.
Now, I realize I have to preface this because I don't think Case has seen Major League, correct?
No.
Oh, that takes away the funny of that scene there because I know Kenzie's seen it.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised you did really love baseball.
Still do.
So I'm surprised.
Why don't we do that next week?
I'd be more than happy to. I had a few people ask me that yesterday if I'd watch Major League if I hadn't seen it because of Bob Uecker. I'm more than happy to do that. I didn't know is this where just a bit outside comes from?
Yes, which is also an iconic phrase because what you see in the movie there when he goes, just a bit outside. He's 40 feet outside. He pitched like
funny.
he's almost like hitting people in the stands.
It's like if I pitched, like just slightly. That's so funny. I did want him just randomly the other day. I was like, I want Case to watch A Few Good Men.
Oh, I watched a little bit of that too. It was on TNT or something every minute. Yesterday I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Great movie.
It is. It turned Case into a man.
Put that on the list.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Kiefer Sutherland.
Tom Cruise.
It's an incredible lineup. Cuba Gooding Jr. is one of his first movies before Jerry Maguire. But anyway, so now that you know that clip, what's going on in this scene.
And radio. He's great in radio.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Who did you think was the last person you talked about?
Not Bob Uecker.
You changed quickly. I was trying to get back to Bob Uecker, and you mentioned radio.
You were listing Cuba Gooding Jr. movies, and I said radio, and then you looked at me like
I just said Jerry Maguire. So Bob Uecker, now that you know that scene Case, it's Charlie Sheen pitching, and Charlie Sheen is, the wild thing. And yes, he's pitching almost killing people in the ballpark, and then that's just a bit outside.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside.
He was unbelievable in that movie. And, of course, all those years, as I said, with the Brewers. And then those Miller Lite commercials where he also totally just made fun of himself as like he was an important guy, but he never got the credit and, never got any kind of that. That must be in the front row. Maybe you've heard people just say that. Must be in the front row. That came from Bob Uecker and those. Yeah. That came from those commercials, and here's one of those old Miller Lite commercials.
One of the best things about being an ex-big leaguer is getting freebies to the game. Call the front office, bingo. And once these fans recognize me, I probably won't even have to pay for my light beer from Miller. Down it, I love them. Good seats, huh?
You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I must be in the front row.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
He missed the tag! He missed the tag!
They're dragging him out of the stadium, and he's yelling, he missed the tag! Oh, so good.
He must be in the front row.
The best part of it is all those freebies. I mean, those guys are yelling at him down in front. Oh. And that was like just one, but the whole series of those commercials, every time in those old Miller Lite commercials, he would somehow, get pulled out of where he was supposed to be because he thought he was important, but he wasn't. Incredible. Bob Uecker passing away at the age of 90. Let's do one more piece of audio because it sadly brings up another guy that went way too young. Obviously, Bob Uecker, 90, pretty good run. Norm Macdonald was on Letterman telling a story about how he was friends with him, and he went up in the booth with him a lot of times and would just sit behind him while Bob Uecker was calling Brewers games. So here's Norm telling a story about when Bob Uecker met the CCR frontman, John Fogerty, and was telling him about it, was so excited about it. So he told
Bob is a very, very
Norm.
funny man, and I often go in the booth with him, you know.
Oh, sure.
So one time we were there, and John Fogerty was in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a fortunate son, you know. So John Fogerty was there. So Bob Uecker is a very interesting guy. He thinks of everybody as the same. He doesn't think of people as stars or anything like that. He's a very down-to-earth guy. So he was talking to me, and he says, "Hey, man, you know that guy?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "That's John Fogerty, rock and roll singer." So I go, "Yeah, I know who it is." He goes, "Yeah, man." He goes, "But I played in a golf tournament with him." He goes, "You probably think of him as some that likes to bite the heads off of chickens, but this guy can."
That's exactly how I think of him.
This guy can get it out of the sand trap like nobody's business. So he goes, he's got a hell of a set of pipes on him. He goes, come the seventh inning stretch, I'll have him up here. He'll sing for you. So I said, no, Bob, don't do that. Like, don't have him come up and sing for me, please, you know. He goes, what's the matter, man? Don't you even know who he is? He got all mad. So I go, yes, Bob, I know who he is. He did Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, he did all that.
Oh, man. So good. All those years of being around baseball and media, I wish I would have met Bob Uecker. Which somehow, probably one of those card shows, he would have been there. It would have been great up in Rosemont to see him.
Apparently, you should have tried to meet him at the golf course.
Yeah, everybody knew him, it seems like. But Bob Uecker passing away at the age of 90. And we need to note right now that David Lynch also passed away at the age of 79. Twin Peaks, so many incredible movies. Wild at Heart, Lost Highway.
I thought you were saying that he came up with the restaurant Twin Peaks.
No.
Like the founder
No.
or something. I'm like, really?
Not him.
Still would have been honored today, by the way.
Okay.
When that guy passes away, that's the show. That's
No,
the whole
it's
show
not.
that day.
I better be sick again.
Listen, when we do Gil's headlines, I got to look up who created Twin Peaks Restaurant. Let's see what's going on. In the meantime, it's Gil Curtis with your headlines.
This is not headline news. A Southwest pilot was arrested just before takeoff at a Georgia airport for DUI. It's a big loss for Southwest because he could de-ice a plane's wings just by lighting his breath. J-Lo donated clothes to LA fire victims. Because if there's one thing people without food or shelter need right now, it's a sequined body thong. The FDA has banned the use of red dye number 3, which is fine by me because red dye number 2 is definitely the best part of that trilogy. Yes, red dye number 3 has been banned. Still no word on what to do with Mambo number 5. This is not headline news.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and time for Case's movie reviews.
For Christ's sake, tomorrow's the 4th of July, and we will be open for business.
What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English in what?
Utah. Give me 2.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand.
Now fry like bacon, you little freshman piggies. Fry! Fry!
Playing football in West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime, but I don't want your life.
All those great movies he's seen this year and before this year. If you're new to the show, a year ago he hadn't seen any of those movies or any big movies at all. So that's why we do this, the lens of an older movie, a classic, an iconic movie from a 25-year-old. And that is Case, the producer here, to do that right now. He is doing the classic Rudy. Before we get in this review, myself and Kenzie know nothing about what Case is going to say about the movie. That's all. We do it just with you, so we get to see that lens from the 25-year-old, just like you do listening on the radio. I will say this. I don't know if he's going to say he liked it or didn't like it or whatever. But at the end of the review, I'll tell you what I saw when I came in this morning. Case got here before me. He was in his studio. And I'm going to tell you something. I got to say it was a little bit disturbing to me, what I saw Case doing in the studio this morning, and it relates to his movie review. Okay, Kenzie?
What?
Yeah. Now, before we get started.
You were not masturbating, Ruby, were you?
I will tell you at the end what he was doing. I
have a big problem with that. I don't like it.
At the end of the review, we'll get there and I'll tell you that. Now, 708 says before we start also, I predict that Case's takeaway from Rudy that it's a cautionary tale about managing expectations, not a story of triumph.
That is a super funny text.
Yes, it is. But let's get started with how we always do this by playing the trailer of the movie from Rudy that came out in 1993. So we're celebrating the 32nd anniversary of Rudy. And here's what the trailer sounded like, the commercial for the movie.
Hey, kid! Not supposed to be here.
His courage will surprise you.
I'm here to play football for the Irish. I need your help.
Why should I help you?
His spirit will inspire you.
Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to go to school here.
When people say that dreams don't come true,
Hey, you guys! My son's going to Notre Dame!
tell them about Rudy.
Ready, champ? I'm ready for this my whole life.
Rudy. Now playing in select cities.
Select cities, not all of them?
Just select cities.
Good Lord.
Well, that's how the movies were, and not everyone got them.
That's wild.
People who didn't pay didn't get them.
If God forbid we release a movie, we make this movie over years and release it in like one city.
No, you have to say select cities because it's false advertising if you say, like, you can see
Everywhere?
it everywhere, and that town doesn't have a movie theater.
Well, we could get into a whole discussion about towns that don't have movie theaters. That's a sad, sad tale.
Yeah, no kidding.
You grow up without a movie theater. But, Case, let's get right to it. Rudy, tremendous. Some people call it the best sports movie of all time. So what was your take on Rudy?
Rudy, for those that haven't seen it, is a tale of two different movies. And we're going to go in chronological order. There is the first half of the movie, and there is the second half of the movie.
Didn't know that. I didn't take it that way, but go ahead.
For those that haven't seen it, the first half of the movie is essentially a crime stalker thriller in which this deranged individual breaks onto a college campus, forces his way into people's lives, and won't go away. When we did Home Alone in December, my whole thing was I would have left Kevin at home myself. That kid was annoying. That kid was self-centered. He did not deserve a vacation. Rudy.
By the way, let that one resonate for a little bit. Let that one just sit for a minute there. He did not deserve a vacation.
Rudy is one of the most self-centered, narcissistic madmen that has ever been portrayed in cinema. I can't believe this guy operates the way that he does. He acts like a 12-year-old, and yet he claims that he's 22 when he wanders onto Notre Dame's campus after leaving in the middle of his friend's funeral before he's sent to Holy Cross. Your thoughts on that opening statement, Your Honor, Brian?
Well, I didn't have any thought like that on this movie. I thought it was a kid that wanted to go to Notre Dame and did everything he could to get there and worked his ass off and did it. Ugh. That's what I saw in the first half of the movie.
He is out of his mind. Again, it's all so weird. It's like he's a high school football player who, let's be honest, wasn't recruited. The dream should have been over there. I was a D3 baseball prospect. I didn't show up to Rice University and say, Coach, I'm going to be a starting pitcher.
Well, that's why there's no movie about you.
That hurt my feelings. Ow.
I remember you being pretty pushy about getting this job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you lingered and wouldn't go away. So
a lot of people say that.
Trust me, I remember vividly. I took it as somebody that would not take no for an answer, which is a great lesson in life.
I can't get over Rudy's friend dies in a mill accident. Now, I don't fully understand what happened at the mill, but I know the dude died. And Rudy left his fiance mid-funeral and was like, I gotta go to college. And she's like, what? You're 22. What do you mean? He's like, I gotta go to college. So he wanders onto this campus. He finds this.
Can I stop you there for a
Please,
second?
Go ahead.
He sees that life is short and fleeting.
So he goes to college?
He wanted to play football, not necessarily study. He wanted to play football at Notre Dame. So with his friend's tragic death at the mill, he saw that at the funeral and said, I can't waste another second. I got to get to Notre Dame right now.
Wait till the end of the funeral.
He could have waited until the end of the funeral. He could have done that. He could have waited until the end. I agree with you there.
So he shows up.
He could have waited for the meal. They have a meal after funerals.
Exactly. You know, go on a full stomach.
Yeah.
So he shows
but
up.
then he gets so sleepy.
Okay.
Gotta go tomorrow.
Should have waited till the end. Ate a good meal. Got a nap. Went the next day. It would have been fine.
And then you're kind of like, yeah, what am I doing? You have to act in the moment.
Yes.
My problem is I can't watch Rudy because I'm like, what's Samwise Gamgee doing here?
I know.
And where's that pesky ring?
It's unbelievable. Same actor, by the way.
I know.
Same actor.
The parking attendant that finds him is like, I can't put you on the football team, but I'll send you to a priest. Maybe he can fix you. I don't know what's wrong with you, kid. So essentially they make this plea deal He's like a criminal. They make a plea deal for him to get into Holy Cross. And he is so disrespectful towards Holy Cross the entire time in this movie. I couldn't believe it. Brian, Kenzie, Holy Cross is an upstanding university, a fine school. They didn't say he had to go take classes at DeVry. He didn't enroll in the University of Phoenix online. Holy Cross is a nice school, and he shows up every day in his Notre Dame Letterman's jacket looking like an a-hole. I can't believe nobody kicked his ass at Holy Cross.
His dead friend gave him that jacket. That's what he gave him at lunch at the mill before he died.
No, but you're at Holy Cross. Put on a Holy Cross shirt.
He couldn't get one. He didn't play. They don't have a team.
I think they do.
Maybe they have a football team. I can't remember.
The problem is that he could have just played at Holy Cross. So we just got a text from Joan Waukegan who said that this review is triggering for me. I don't like the way Case is going with this. But I said, stay with me, Joan Waukegan. I said there's a second part of this movie that we have to talk about.
So that's all the first part.
That's the first part of this movie is a stalker crime thriller in which Rudy doesn't know what no means. He's a madman at Holy Cross. He forces his way into Notre Dame's life, and I don't like him for the first 90 minutes of the movie.
Wow.
This entire movie, he's just so persistent. He's a little gnat, and he just keeps on saying, I'm going to come out of that tunnel one day. I'm going to come out of that tunnel. I'm going to play for the Fighting Irish.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy, in the last game of the season, he gets put on the dress list. He makes the team. Calls his friends, calls his family. They're all there in the stands. The second half of this movie, which is really just the last 20 minutes, is when Rudy suits up for Notre Dame. And as he's in that tunnel, and he says, I've been waiting for this day my entire life. And his family is in the stands. His father, who loves Notre Dame more than anything on earth. And in that house, they watch one team. They watch Notre Dame fighting Irish football. That's it.
When his friend has to watch Purdue, and his dad said, we only watch one team in this house.
That's right. And I said, put the Purdue game on. Okay. His family's in the stands. His friends are in the stands. John Favreau's in the stands. Rudy comes out of that tunnel. I blubbered like a whale. I cried more than I've ever cried at a movie in my entire life. And I got DMs from crew members last night saying the only time they've seen their fathers cry in their lives were when they watched Rudy. I lost my mind. There is an inherent instinct in all of us that we just, at the end of the day, want to make our dads proud. And Rudy made his dad proud. And every time the camera cut to his family, Brian, Kenzie, I lost it.
Kenzie, look at his eyes. He's crying right now. He's crying right now.
Because it's cinema perfection. I hated this movie for the first 90 minutes of it. I didn't understand how it had the reputation it did, the legacy it did. Rudy sucked. He was like Kevin in Home Alone. I wanted nothing to do with him.
All right.
When he suits up for the Fighting Irish, I cried my eyes out. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Because he's waiting for his dad to feel like that about him. That's why he's crying.
Oh, my
Case
God.
hasn't had his tunnel moment yet. That's the problem. No tunnel yet for Case.
No, I said I had a surprise for you at the end of the
Don't
review.
put my business on the street.
He's crying right now.
Oh, my God.
Kenzie, I came in, and he got here before me. I usually get in before him. So I don't know why he came in earlier than me today. He was in his studio, which is behind us, watching that scene in Rudy, and he was freaking crying this morning before the show. He's crying right now.
Why would you rewatch it to cry?
Kenzie, I can't stop. I watched it during the commercial break after Clash with Kenzie. I can't stop watching this scene. Again, I hated this movie. I thought it was terrible. And then Rudy put on the blue and gold. Oh, my God, do I want to make my dad proud. That was the most touching thing that I've ever seen, and it's great. You know why this was great? I'm so glad this movie was made in 93 and not 2003, because the soundtrack of this movie, the score of it, it's all these beautiful orchestral strings. It's a very pretty movie. Thank God Rudy didn't take the field with POD, Here Comes the Boom in the background. This movie moved me to tears. It was unbelievable.
He's crying right now.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God. It has to be tough because you see that and then you're like, what are you going to do? Send your dad a podcast link? That sucks.
Case, you've got to give it a review before we move on. A rating.
God.
I'd give it in tears, by the way. Because he was crying his freaking eyes out. I watched for 10 minutes. He was crying this morning, and through the glass. I watched him.
Oh, my goodness. It's so tough because, again, it takes so long to have anything happen in this movie. But the last 20 minutes are as perfect as anything I've ever seen. And I think when you split the difference, I feel comfortable. It takes so long to get to. But this has to be like a 7.5 tears out of 10, with the last 20 minutes being a 20 out of 10. I've never seen anything more beautiful in my life.
You crying bitch. Amazing. There you go. There's Case's review of Rudy.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and we have Yasmine on the line from a week ago who told us a story, and she has DNA test results to let us know who her dad is. She has not known who, for sure, her biological dad is. But before we get there, to catch you up on last week's phone call, here's how we got here today.
Yeah. So my other, just one more question as a brief follow-up. The reason you're getting the DNA test, though, is because your mom came to the door and said, it's actually not your kid to him, correct? That's why.
Right. Correct.
Got it.
Correct. With a fake DNA test.
With a fake one.
So,
got it. Nailed it. I just wanted to double check.
Only faked by saying this is a fake test, like by handwritten on the DNA test, not through any kind of blood.
She went through like a computer. She forged documents my whole life. Like she would forge like doctor's notes, leases, credit scores, like whatever you needed, she would.
Your mom needs a reality show that I would watch every week.
And you don't know, that's not even like the tip of the iceberg.
It has to be.
That's not even the tip of the ice. There's so much.
No, there can't be anything else.
Oh, there's so much. No, I literally have like a spreadsheet of like timelines that I'm trying to like piece together.
That was Yasmine's life on the air. Yasmine, welcome back to the show.
Welcome. Thank you. Good morning.
So we're now in real time. This is live. And Yasmine hit us up yesterday and said she got the DNA results in and she would call us when they happened. But Kenzie was out sick, so I said, let's do it. Let's wait a day and let's get it in. So myself and Casey, even though we talked to you yesterday, we don't know the results. Kenzie doesn't know the results. But welcome in. I imagine before you give us those results, it's been a pretty emotional, wild week.
It's been a week, yeah. It's been a week. I went out to visit them. They live not far in the suburbs. I'm in the city, so I went out there and we opened it together. I did peek before I went over there.
You peeked?
How could you not? Would you not really?
Oh my gosh! Well, Brian didn't have a baby with you. You ruined the gender reveal.
So when you say that, when you say you went to them, how many people were there in the room?
Just him and his wife.
Okay, so is this the person that you want to be your biological dad?
Yeah. Well, I don't have like a line of other people lining up to be my dad to do a DNA test.
Jeez.
But no, it would be. It would be nice. Like I have his last name. He named me. Like it would be nice for that to like know my heritage and where I come from. Like, I think everyone would want that information at some point. But like I'm happy with. The dad that raised me is a great guy, and he's my dad for all intents and purposes. He did raise me. But it would just be nice to know, where you come from. And I was really, hoping that this would be the guy because he's a great guy. And he never had kids. She never had kids. His wife never had kids. He was, like, scarred by my mom. He didn't date for, like, 25 years.
Good Lord. Your mom, we heard about your mom with the 4 kids with 4 different dads.
She like ruined these men.
Oh God!
All of them were swore off women for years. One of them never got remarried, never even like dated. Like she really did a number on these guys.
Wow.
And she's like, I can't go to her for information because she's not a very honest. You can't get a straight answer out of her.
You made that clear in the whole conversation before about some of that. So I'm so glad, and you're being so honest and open. First off, we really appreciate that. We all consider the show family and the people that listen to it. And so that's why we wanted to be here when you opened the envelope. Of course, you already did that, and you're going to give us the results. So you were there with the people that you were hoping that person was your biological dad.
Yes. Kenzie, you did a great recap, by the way. I was very impressed.
Oh, thank you. Listen, I listen, okay? I am here for you.
I will tell you that I listened, but I got a headache. I couldn't focus. It was very difficult. Thank God Kenzie's here to help break that down.
She had it down. She was like, I was like, she's got it. She took notes or something. She was on it.
I'm all
in. I went over there. They cooked me like a feast. We hung out. We had a good time.
Did you eat before you opened the envelope?
Yeah, we hung out for a couple hours.
Oh, my God.
Well, mind you, she already peeked.
Oh, I forgot she peeked.
She could relax a bit.
Yeah. So let's get to it. After that nice meal and a beautiful time, and you hoping this was the person that was your father, what were the results of the DNA test?
He is not the father.
Oh, no!
You are not.
No!
That seemed unnecessary. Really that flash dance.
Oh, my God, Brian.
Not good.
Oh, my goodness.
Read the room.
Do you remember?
Oh my gosh.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
it sucked, but they were very adamant that like no matter what, they want to be in my son's life, and that he considers me his daughter. And he was like, I was there when you were born. I named you. Like you're my daughter. We want to be in your life. Like regardless, this doesn't change anything. And I feel the same way. You know, he raised me for 3 years, and you know, like he named me and everything. So I feel like we've still been talking. I call him every day. He really likes that. We're gonna hang out on Monday again, and like I'm still going to be close with them. I think that they like that too, because they don't have kids or grandkids, so it's like still nice to have that connection.
Sure.
And his wife is like so awesome, and so it sucks though, because now it's like there's just a big question mark. And the guy that raised me did tell me another possibility, which just opened like a whole nother can of worms.
No, no.
Because it's someone in my not blood related, but related by marriage.
Are you planning on reaching out to any the
No.
man who raised you? You're not going to continue this journey.
I might do like Ancestry DNA or like 23andMe. Like they're on sale right now on Amazon or something, so I might do that. But I don't think anything's going to come from it. Like the other two possibilities, one is like not even in this country and was related by marriage, and that would blow up like an entire family in my family. And I'm not trying to do any of that.
Right.
You're really thought out on this. I really say you're really a good person on how you're doing all this. I really respect that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And
I try.
I really get it, girl, because the other day my husband's like, you should take one of those Ancestry things. I'm like, no. Because when I find out I have
Imagine
a
how many lives those have ruined.
I want no part. If I find a halvesies out there, a quarter or something, it's going to cause all these problems. And I get it. It's like, is it worth it? You do have two, it seems like pretty awesome men that love you and are father figures now in your life.
I'm good with that.
And that's really what it's all about, is the people in your life. You can't choose your biology, you know, who birthed you, but you can choose the people in your life that treat you right. And that's the message for 2025, I think, overall, is to the people that is, this is a weird way to say it, but I guess, you know, Brian, Kenzie, Casey, you know, we can all be your dad too. We're all family here together.
I'm not going to be her dad, but I will be her friend.
I would.
Thank you. And you know, it's funny you say that, because my son's dad his brother did the Ancestry DNA, and they found two halvesies out there.
Oh, this is what I need.
Their dad is deceased, so they can't even like confront him about the cheating. They were like, he was married to their mom.
Yeah.
Right.
So imagine like that. Like I don't even want to know. Like I don't want to know if I have like cousin siblings out there. Like I'm good.
You know what I would love? If Case did Ancestry DNA and found out that Rudy was his uncle. That would be incredible. If maybe you should get on that case.
I'll get right on that, Brian.
I mean, you know, you grew up around Notre Dame, and maybe I know he's from Joliet, but maybe that could happen.
Wait, you think my mother did something?
I don't know.
You also have little bitch arms, so both of you got.
That's right. Rudy had little bitch arms.
That's right, he did.
That's right. Well, Yasmine, please keep in touch with us and call us anytime you want about what's going on in your life, because you are so entertaining, so honest, so open.
If you do take one of those DNA tests and you find out you have, 47 halvesies or something like that, if you could just call us with those updates, we would love to know what's happening.
Yeah, we need you on the show.
I will definitely let you know if there's any updates. I think this will be the end of this road. It's like I have two guys that want to be my dad, and that's more than some people can say about their biological dad.
You're damn right.
Damn right.
And
if it, like, obviously whoever it is didn't want to be involved. If they knew they didn't want to be involved, and there's no, the two options are a bunch of schmucks. So I'm going to just leave that door closed and go with what I got.
I got to be honest. I know your mom was a handful, but she sounds like she picked some great men. I mean, they're both so kind.
She used to practice, like, I think she used to be, she's from Cuba, and her dad was, like, a priest for, like, Santeria or something.
Hold on, we can't.
I think she had a little bit of, like, witchcraft going on.
Yeah, we can't.
Okay.
Please.
No, hey, how dare you? I'm taking notes, and you keep interrupting.
I'm saying, can we save that for another show? We need this content. Yasmine, thank you so much.
When I release the book, I'll let you guys know.
Appreciate you.
Amen.
Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch, okay?
Have a great rest of your day, guys.
You too. What a sweetheart. Thank you so much for sharing your life, and that's what we hope, that's what this show is we share a lot, and hopefully you share a lot, and I like her perspective on that a lot. I'm gonna tap. I couldn't do that. I'd keep going. I have to find out the person.
And you just ruin everyone. Of course, you'd take everyone down with you in true Brian fashion.
I am taking the grenade, pulling the pin, and I'm getting between everybody, and I'm putting the grenade in my mouth, and we're all going down
you
together.
Just show up everywhere. Like, did you sleep with my mom?
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.